I've been reading a lot of DC C-lister comics, and I think they really show what the DC world is like for a normal person compared to the big dogs like the Justice League. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't have heard about this character because, well, he's a C-lister. But in Hitman issue 34, we see the Hitman Tommy Monaghan passing time on a seemingly random rooftop when he's surprised to see Superman. Now, this comic was written by Garth Ennis, the same guy that wrote The Boys. Now, if you've seen The Boys, you would understand why I was very apprehensive about seeing Superman appear in this comic. But this Superman was actually a pretty chill guy. He says what's up to Tommy and even asks if he owns the building and if him being on the roof is bothering him in any way. Tommy asks Superman what he's doing on a random rooftop in Gotham City this late at night, and Superman just says he was thinking over something he had on his mind. When asked for more details, Superman gets all dark and scary and says something went really wrong that night and he failed. There was this spaceship on its way to Mars that could do the trip twice as fast as any other ship because of its new atomic engine, except for that night, because that night it blew itself up, but Superman was there to help. Upon arriving, he realizes that something must have gone horribly wrong for none of the ship's safety protocols to have been initiated before he got there. The crew tells Superman that when the engine blew up, it destroyed the shield door, blocking radiation from flooding into the Bay Area. That radiation is stopping the crew from evacuating the ship. In an effort to close the engine shield, the commander had gone into the room and had seemingly died. But because Superman is here now, everybody is safe and there's going to be no problems. Now, the plan was for Superman to go into the room and open the bay doors, releasing all the radiation from the room into space. After doing that, he is going to hold up the engine shield all by himself and wait for the crew to escape. Everything goes according to plan and the crew escapes. But while holding up the door, Superman notices something he should have checked for when he first entered the Bay Area. He finds the commander trapped underneath the ship's subflooring, and he's still alive. He has a look in his eyes that says, "You're Superman, and you're not saving me." But before Superman could do anything, he was out of time. This was what happened that night, and this was what Superman was on that roof questioning. When asked why he's upset by this, even though he knew there was nothing he could have done in the moment, he talks about how he knows he can't save everyone, but there's an idea of Superman. He's the guy that comes down from the sky and he saves people. If Superman is there, you're going to be alright. That's the idea of Superman that's in everyone's mind. He says the astronaut was someone that was all-American. He's been raised to love the flag, the history, his mom's apple pie. He's someone that has lived his life serving his country, and that comes with certain beliefs, things that he is certain of. The shots heard around the world, the Alamo, Custer's last stand, America is the greatest country on God's earth, and Superman. If Superman is there, he shouldn't be afraid. Superman believes everybody thinks this, that no, he can't be everywhere at once, but when he is there, I'll be safe. But when that time came for the commander, he let him down. Superman knows this is a belief he can't change in people, but he has to live with it, and he has to live up to it. This is what is inspiring about Superman. He tries to live up to an ideal that he knows is impossible to live up to, and when he fails, even when it's not his own fault, he thinks about that moment. He keeps it in his mind. Even though he's not human, even though he's not from the planet, he's an image of what every human should strive to be. We are all meant to live up to that ideal that he has of himself, even though you know you can't reach up to that. Because what matters is that you tried and that you put in your best. Tommy tells him this in more detail, and Superman is relieved to hear it. Giving Tommy an autograph, and he leaves, and Tommy is free to do what he was on the roof to do in the first place. I thought this issue was a really good example of what made Superman Superman, and it was kind of ironic that it came from a guy like Garth Ennis, someone that's well known for not really enjoying superheroes, but somehow he was able to write something that could perfectly portray what type of person Superman is. and using someone like Tommy as a contrast for the type of world both of them live in, where Superman is deeply introspective about a life that he could have saved, and Tommy nonchalantly kills someone after giving Superman a whole speech on how he is a better person and he is what everyone in the world should try to be. He immediately flips into what his world actually is and does what he has to do to survive. Now, Tommy isn't a normal person. He also has powers that he got from an alien race that gives him the ability to see through walls and slight telepathy. It gives him a headache, so he doesn't really use it as much. So he's practically just a normal guy that can like pull out some powers now and again. So you wouldn't really expect him to go full time into superheroing, even though after this issue, he goes on to help the Justice League in a crisis event. Not a like a DC crossover crisis, but like a crisis where where the Justice League needed him to identify some stuff and things got messed up, and Tommy was the only person that was able to complete the mission. And honestly, you could really see where the distaste for superheroes with Garth Ennis comes in, because everyone in the Justice League is very much a douchebag. Like, they're kind of mean to Tommy, and they're not really as nice as you would expect superheroes to be, especially these DC superheroes, except for like Superman and Green Lantern. The Flash was especially very assholishly written. Maybe I don't understand the lore of what happened with these Justice League characters, but a lot of them were very big assholes, especially even Batman. I like Batman, but the way he really acted with Tommy was really uncalled for a lot of the times. And when Tommy had to make a decision around the end, a decision that would not be easy for anybody to decide, like to do, he makes the right call, in my opinion. And a lot of them in the league couldn't even bring themselves around to fathom the idea of him doing what he had to do to save like the world, if anything. But it's kind of shown that like out of everyone in the league, it was really only Superman that was able to understand what was going on and like give him the benefit of the doubt of the decision that he's made. And that's something that is always there in Superman's character, of being understanding. And this was something that comes on later when Tommy normally talks about superheroes, he calls all of them douchebags and assholes, but Superman is always good in his book. And that's something I really love about DC C-listers or lesser known characters in the DC universe, is all of them have a somewhat baseline respect for Superman. Even the villains have that. I was reading Animal Man as well, and Superman just shows up in that, and it's like he's just chill with everyone. He just has like this quick interaction with Animal Man. He's met him one time, he barely even remembers his name, but he sees him and he's like, I'm going to say hi to him. And that's why I really think DC's Superman is a very important character when you're trying to build up a whole world of or a whole world of superheroes. My next video is going to be on Avatar Legends of Korra.